Hi, I'm Allie. Join me as I create the Twilight Facets Bracelet. Remember, if you ever need any materials, go ahead and look below the video in the description and grab the link there to get back to our website to gather all your supplies. Let's get ready and get started. So to begin this design, we're using 4 simple materials: a cup button, some GemDuo beads, 4mm bicones, and 11/0 seed beads. Remember, there's always links below the video if you want to get that full list and links to it. We're going to start with our first little diamond section here, and we are going to start by putting on our first bead through that top right hole. Then we're going to put our next bead on through the bottom hole right there. So when you look at them, they're going to line up, kind of sitting opposite one another. With the GemDuos, they are going to be sitting so that they are face up. Some of those, because I'm using the Jet AB, will be face up with the black side showing. Some will show with that kind of oil slick AB coating. We're going to put on our third one here, so that way it also is face up, meaning that it doesn't have that it has the flat side facing down. I'm going to put on 3 seed beads to get from the bottom hole here to the top hole, or to the bottom left to the top right of that same GemDuo. Nice tight pull, and we're going to put our 4th one in for our diamond pattern, and I'm going through the hole that's going to make that one a complete diamond, going through the bottom or the left side, and I'm going to go up through that first GemDuo that we put on, and see how that gets you that nice kind of diamond shape. Again, because it's Jet AB, some will be on the top, some will be on the bottom. 3 more seed beads will decorate the outside of this diamond. And we're going to take our needle and thread through and kind of reinforce. You can do this with 2 needles. I actually haven't done a 2 needle project in a while, but I'm going to stick to 1 for this guy. Going on here then, I'm going back through my creation, getting kind of to the end of it, just reinforcing and moving my needle so I can get to the outside of that piece. I'm going to exit here through the diamond, back on the opposite side of that exterior. When I exit here, I'm going to get ready to attach my kind of outer edge here, going in and looking at my crystals and my seed beads to attach another row of my GemDuo beads. Want to learn how to become a jewelry making expert? With PotomacBeads Jewelry Making Kits, you can create unique and customized bracelets, earrings, necklaces, and pendants. Every kit uses only premium materials and is hand-packed in the USA. Whether you're new or you've been crafting for years, these kits provide an immersive experience, allowing you to create beautiful projects with ease. Visit PotomacBeads.com/kits today, or click on the link in the description below. So for the next section here, we're coming out of the top of that GemDuo diamond, and we're coming out of the top of the middle or the interior portion. You're adding an 11, a 4, and 11, and I put the GemDuos and everything on here so you could kind of see it beforehand, so you can see how you're getting this pretty pattern in the center of the design. You're going to want to go through the GemDuo so that you are going through the top hole with it facing up, then another 11, 4, 11, and then you're going to put on 3 GemDuos. You're going to put on the GemDuos when you're looking at them kind of in the diamond shape as left hole, right hole, left hole. Then 11, 4, 11, and then another one of the GemDuos so that it's going through the bottom hole. 11, 4, 11. We're going to go back through those same 4 GemDuos of the diamond that we created, and we're coming up out the exact same hole. When we pull that, get that starter thread out of there, we're going to go over and sew through the 11, the 4, the 11, and the first one of our GemDuo beads. From here, we are going to go from the interior or the exterior hole to the interior hole. So we're going from the top hole to that bottom hole. And now we're going to connect 4 of our GemDuos with a seed bead. We're going to connect this one here at the top, the one from the diamond on the left, one at the bottom, and the middle one from the right hand side. 11 through the empty hole, 11 through the empty hole, 11, empty hole, 11, back through the first GemDuo. I'm going to reinforce my thread, taking it back past where I started to kind of connect those all. And look, those sit nicely in the middle there. And you get that pretty design. Almost looks like a snowflake, actually. From here, we're going to go back through the next seed bead. We're going to go back through the next one of our GemDuos, through the seed bead, up through the GemDuo, up through the seed bead, and we're going to get to one of the GemDuos either on the top or the bottom of the design. We're going to reverse the thread again, going from the upper hole, or the bottom hole rather, to the upper hole, and then through the seed beads over the whole way till we're coming out through our GemDuos. I'm going to take my needle and thread through the GemDuos, and then we are ready to do the seed beads on the outside of the GemDuo. 1, 2, and 3 seed beads into the second hole of the GemDuo your thread is currently coming out of. Grab another GemDuo so the flat side is down. I'm going to grab one of the AB ones for this guy. So I'm going through that left hole there. Go through the GemDuo that sits above to create that next diamond. 1, 2, and 3 seed beads. And once again, back down through all 3 GemDuos. That one only let me go through 2, and now I'm going to go through the third. When I come out through those, I'm going to go back through the 3 seed beads that sit along the outer edge. And then from there, I'm going back to the GemDuos to get to the top to do my next little floral grouping of 4. That's going to once again be 11, crystal, 11. Grab my GemDuo so that I'm grabbing the top hole for when it sits flat. So you can kind of sit that down if you need to. Make sure that bumps on the up. Go ahead and add another crystal with the 11s on each side. And now once again, the 3 GemDuos. When you do your 3 GemDuos here, you can line them up. That's kind of the easiest. And just sew right down through there. So I'm going to sew down through the right side, the left side, and left side, right side, left side of them. Again, just kind of keep it on your surface if you need to see which way they're facing up. And now from here, same thing. 11, crystal, 11. Next one of your GemDuos through the bottom with it facing up. And then the 11, crystal, 11, up through the 3 GemDuos from the previous diamond. That gets the outer section done. Now it's time to move to the interior. Up through the 11, crystal 11, into that GemDuo, from the outer hole to the inner hole of that GemDuo. Your 4 GemDuos get connected with 11 OC beads here. 11 GemDuo, 11 empty hole of the GemDuo, 11 center GemDuo, so the one that's in the middle, another 11 OC bead, and sew around. You're going to sew around there to tighten it up all the way over. So we're coming back out through the same GemDuo bead that we did when our thread went from the top to the bottom. Now we're going to go on the opposite side from the bottom to the top. Now if I was creating this again with these colors, go back and forth, I would probably use black thread, honestly. But you can use any. You really don't see that tiny bit of thread on the exterior. From here, you're getting to the opposite side. And once again, we're doing the repeat. Going down through all 3 of those GemDuos. And then I get to the outside. And I add my seed beads and my fourth and final one of my GemDuos. So you're just going to keep going, making the base of the bracelet, and then we'll go in and we'll add the seed beads on the outer edge, which go from the top here along the sides. Keep adding in your little sections here. I like the color pops of the AB coating here, and we're just going to make it a little bit longer. Once you finish the length of your bracelet here, I just want to show also, if you don't want to do the seed beads along the outer edge, how the bracelet looks without that outer edging. So here at the end, and honestly, I could have stopped probably one more back for my tinier wrist, and I'm going to jump from the exterior here using 1 and 2 seed beads, 1 crystal, 1 more 11-0 seed bead, and go through the second hole of the disc duo, or the GemDuo rather, that's there. Again, coming out then, I'm going to add 1 11-0 seed bead, 2 11-0 seed beads, and then I'm going to add a third, fourth after that, fifth after that. We're going to go up through the cup button here. On this side, we'll make the loop on the other side. 3 seed beads on the top. Going down through the cup button on the opposite side. Now, I'm not going to worry about reinforcing the cup button because my thread and needle are going to come back down the other way anyway. So I'll take another strand through that. I'm going to do 2 11s. I'm going to grab on the third 11 that was already there that I put on previously. 2 more 11s into the opposite side here of your GemDuo. And what that creates is that little X holding the button in place. From here, 1 11. 1 crystal. If you want, you can do just 1 11. I'm still going to do 2. And then we're going back into this section here along the side. That gets your end completed. Now I'm going to go back up to my beads there, beads number 1 and 2. Turn to the side. And I'm going to get ready to do that crystal lacing with the seed beads along the side. Now to show the outer lacing, I did a couple just so that way you could see the look that it gets. And I want to also talk about the different brands of seed beads to show. So I used a Zuki here on my starter one or my example piece, and I used 6 seed beads and then a crystal and 6 seed beads. In the one with the Miyuki here, I'm doing 5 seed beads. So you're coming out of bead number 2 of that group of 3 that we did that wraps around the GemDuo. You put on 5 11-0 seed beads followed by a crystal and 5 11-0 seed beads. Go to the next diamond section and pick up just that middle 11-0 seed bead in that group of 3 beads. 5 1 5, middle 11-0, 5 1 5, middle 11-0. So here I am again, 1 2 3 4 and 5, crystal, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Going over then to the next set there of my diamond, I'm going to pick up the middle bead, bead number 2 in that group of 3, and that creates that next little lacing loop. Same thing here, just 5 beads on. You're going to go back up the right and the left with this technique. But again, I showed earlier what the bracelet looked like on. You don't have to do that. When I get to the other end, we will put on the loop for our button, and then we will go in and I'll show you how to do the opposite side as well. When you get the length that you are down to the end of that length with your seed bead netting there, you're going to come out of the last little top second bead, add 2 11-0 seed beads, crystal, 2 11-0s, and then I've added a bunch of seed beads. I added 3, I want to think of it as 3, and then I added an additional 26 to 28, again depending on kind of which brand you're using. I'm going to go back through bead number 3, just kind of like we did on the other side to get that loop or to get that X design, and then 2 more seed beads, 1 and 2, and I'm going to go back through that same GemDuo. Once I'm through that GemDuo then, I have that nice little loop for my button. I'm going to go back up through it, reinforcing. Anytime you make a loop for a button too, you just want to double check before you get further on in the bracelet that the loop works, the fit works, all of that. And then after we reinforce here, because my starter thread is on this end, I am going to tie it off because it's in the perfect spot for it. And then I'll come back down the opposite side and add in that little lace edging. There I have my loop reinforced. I'm going to go through my piece here, through the crystals and the seed beads on the outer edge. And as I go through the seed beads and the crystals on the outer edge, once I get in towards there, I'm going to kind of reverse my thread so it's coming out right next to that stop bead. I'm going to tie those thread ends off and then get my needle and thread to the opposite side. And I'll start down the side here after adding the crystal and the seed beads on the left-hand side. I'll come down and add, coming out that bead number 2, my lace on the opposite side. All right, I tied off my thread end here. I've got my needle and thread on the opposite side. I'm going to add 1 and 2 of my 11s, followed by 1 crystal and 1 11. I'm going to sew up then through my GemDuo. If you want to, you can reinforce the loop one more time or come back down through the GemDuo, that same one from the top hole to the outer hole. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come down through the seed bead, crystal seed bead that we just did, back past that tie, and to the opposite side. Once I'm to the opposite side there, then I get going with my lace on the left-hand side. So you're just watching it as I sew over, kind of wiggling through there, getting that starter thread that I need to burn off now that it has a knot, over to the opposite side to get ready then to do my lacing effect. As we do our lacing effect, remember you're going to come out through bead 11O number 2 on the side here, and then right down the side and reinforce on the opposite cut button. Once you get to the other side here, you're just coming out the end, and I'm going to go up through our cut button, putting another strand through to reinforce. Once you're up through the button, you're going to come down through the opposite side. And then that gets that second strand through. And I'm going to tie off my thread. Now I tie off my thread and try to make it kind of towards the back. Again, you could do a black thread if you were on this project. I'm going to go underneath the bridge thread, the thread that connects one bead to another. And I'm going to make a loop, and I sew through that loop once. And then I'm going to sew through that loop a second time. Once I sew through that loop 2 times, it makes a nice sewer's knot. You just pull nice and tight down next to the project. I'm going to take my thread and needle away from that knot, down into the project a little bit further. And then in a space that's not so obvious, I'm going to burn off the thread ends. So burning off the thread ends here, we're going to go to the back of the project. I'm going to take my needle and thread off, burn that down, and then burn down that thread edge and kind of pulling it towards the back. And I'm choosing, because I have the white thread, to burn it down near my 11O seed beads, since they are the Crystal Lab color. That then will finish up this lovely design. I can't wait to see all the different colors that you guys make it in. Thanks so much for joining me to create this fun bracelet. Remember, if you need any materials, go ahead and look below the video. In the description, we put the full supplies list as well as links to get back to our site. Remember also, you can give a little thumbs up and subscribe here so you don't miss anything from us at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.